So y'all remember when I said that it was probably not a good idea for Sara Pezzini to go see Kenneth Irons? I was right. It was not a good idea. And y'all also remember when I said I really hope that Ian does not betray her and like comes to her aid or whatever, something like that. Ian's so fine. Anyway, welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Ray Knight, here to give you a proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comic book characters. Listen, we are on Witchblade number 7, and when I tell you she shouldn't have went, she shouldn't have went. So Jackie Estacado makes an appearance, and he's going to go talk to Kenneth Irons because Kenneth is giving him something, and it's like a black market type thing. He's like, I appreciate your discretion. He's like, yeah, of course. And so as he's leaving, he quite literally passes by Sara Pezzini, and Sara knows who Jackie Estacado is. And like you see all of the monsters and everything around him, and the Witchblade recognizes him as well, but one fight at a time. So she goes into the Iron Spire, and she's going to go approach Kenneth Irons like a fucking cop. And the reason that she's going after Kenneth Irons, if you remember, is that Kenneth Irons is the one who ordered that her father be killed. And now that she's found that out, she's pissed. Listen, I'm all for getting revenge for dear old dad, but not when you have absolutely no idea what the fuck it is that you are walking into. And this is why I said this was a bad idea. So she goes in there, and she's met by Kenneth Irons, who very much expected her to come because it was part of the plan that he had with Ian. And so she's, thinking to herself about how she got the Witchblade, what Kenneth Irons has done, the fact that Ian was sent to help her navigate through all of this stuff as the Witchblade wielder, but also like she planned on him betraying her when he takes her up there. And he's like so excited to see her. He's like, with all of these very, very strange people, there's like a werewolf, there's Wong of Hong Kong, like there's a bunch of people there who are of the rich and powerful, right? And she approaches this like a fucking police officer. She's pulling out her badge and yelling about things that have happened or whatever. And he and this gigantic group of people at this party laugh in her face. And I'm like, girl, why did you go? You are not ready. So he does take her to the side and like try to get her to explain the feelings of the Witchblade, and how she had conversations with not aliens, but angels and demons and all kinds of stuff like that. And when she's not giving him the answers that he wants, he's like, Ian, this chick is not the Witchblade wielder. What the fuck? What kind of shit is this? She sucks. And he's like talking shit to her, but it's like she is so like blinded by anger. She doesn't even know what to do at this point. And she's still yelling and hollering inside of this party, and he pulls out a sickle key. He opens the floor, and it opens into an arena, and she starts getting attacked by the people who are in the party. The people who like she's getting shot at. So of course the Witchblade does take over, provide her with her armor and her weapons, and my girl is getting jumped. Okay, but she's getting jumped by more powerful people than what she literally just faced in that apartment. And Ian then comes to her rescue, and this doesn't upset Kenneth because he knew that Ian was weak, but he's not happy about the situation. He basically orders for them to kill her. Ian is not having it because all of this time that he spent with her, Ian is in love with that woman, point blank period. And so while they are fighting, a portal opens, and she's like, what is that? And he's like, it's literally the only way you're going to get out of here alive. So they both end up running, and Kenneth is like, of course, y'all are fucking pathetic. Run like you were always meant to do, blah, 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 blah. Sara come on. Now, again, I completely understand where Sara is coming from. She has spent a lot of years on this case in particular, and it wasn't until she got the Witchblade, met with Ian, that she even started making any progress or getting any kind of answers. So it's like she's trying to push forward in this case that she, of course, was not working by herself. She had 3 people working on this with her, on top of being undercover, on top of like finding out who in the police department helped set up her dad, and she's like disgusted by all of these people. And her knowing Jackie Estacado is very interesting, because where do you know him from? How you know him? Because it doesn't say. It just, she just knows that that's who that is. So I'm also wondering if that's like part of the black market thing that she was working, like when she was dealing with the trafficking of human bodies and things like that. And Ian not betraying her and actually helping her in that moment was also interesting, but it's also kind of like a question mark. Like, are you doing this as part of your overall plan with Kenneth? Or when she asked you, what are you doing there, and you gave the answer of wanting to be the Witchblade consort and being at the Witchblade wielder's side while they take over the world and shit, because that means like when people say your name that they're completely afraid of you and all this blah blah blah, like that, is that really truly what you're wanting? And that's why you decided to help her. And just knowing how she is very much head first, like she's action first, and while she was trying to ask questions, she was doing it in the most aggressive, assertive way. And again, I understand you being angry. You are confronting the person who had your father killed. I got that, but there are certain nuances, and you as a police officer know this. You are not going to get any answers the way that you approach that man. That is why he laughed in your face. You probably weren't going to get any answers anyway, but it would have been a much more interesting and in-depth conversation, and you probably would have gotten at least a reason why, or one of the reasons why, or something related to what it is that you've been doing all these months with the Witchblade and the training and the darkness and demons and all of this other stuff. But you, when he took you to the side, you couldn't even have a regular ass conversation with that man. That is why he thought you were pathetic. And after that, he just wanted a show of the Witchblade because you weren't giving him the information that he wanted. And because you weren't giving him the information that he was looking for, he didn't give you the information that you were looking for. It's like a give and take type thing. So then he gets you into the arena because he wants to see the Witchblade in action, but you're not even using the Witchblade to your full potential because you're not letting the Witchblade power flow through you like the way that Ian's trying to get you. And that's why Ian was like, are you ignoring like your bond with the Witchblade? Like, what's going on? Like, you have to definitely bond with it. And honestly, the Witchblade is kind of like the helmet of Dr. Fate. It depends on the user. Sara Pizzini is probably one of the best users, and I know this is just like her in the beginning, but baby girl, speed it up. You are killing me. So I think this is interesting. Introducing Jackie was an interesting move here in this situation. As always, the artwork is absolutely fabulous. I loved it, and I can't wait to see where this story continues to go because I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Witchblade is definitely one of my favorites. So, but that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office. If you have not bought the book, please go ahead and buy it, and also look out for the podcast. You can listen to it on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, all that. And I will see you guys at your next checkup.